Well, it drives kind of like the Audi, and I wasn't a huge fan of the Audi. A reskinned Audi, essentially. Hi guys, Jamie Fluke here from Apex Racing Team, and in this video we're going to take a look at the brand new Lamborghini Huracan GT3, fresh into iRacing for the 2021 Season 1 build on iRacing at the brand new and finally completed Long Beach street circuit. So the Lambo is basically the big sister, or the big brother, whatever way you want to call it, of the Audi R8 GT3. So in this video we'll sort of look and see how similar the cars are, and the initial thoughts of the GT3s coming into this new build on iRacing. So let's get stuck in. So, in the car. Oh, very pretty dash. I like that. I already really like that. So there's a little setting, so I can go day, night, Magnus Qual, and Qual. That's pretty cool. Engine mappings. We have 12 of them. I assume we'd just leave it on 1 across the board. Throttle 1 and or between 1 and 3. TC settings 12 I believe is off. 1 will be minimum. It's defaulted to 6, which is kind of what you run in the Audi. ABS curiously set to 1 rather than like max out. 12 is off. Sounds how you expect it to. Oh, right, okay. I already don't like how that feels. Okay. Just over rotates on the brakes. Cool. Car isn't handling the bumps great. The IR1 handled them nearly better than this does. It's quite interesting. Yeah. Typical trait, like similar to the Audi. Once it kind of goes, it doesn't really get saved. It's a difficult car to save. This is fundamentally basically the Audi. Only I've desecrated the livery a little bit, but we do have Apex logos on it, so that's good. Apex Racing Academy. Well, it drives kind of like the Audi, and I wasn't a huge fan of the Audi from before, and all this does in terms of drivability, it reminds me of the Audi, which is no great surprise. Well, Danny Crows, who drives the Lambo in real life, says it drives like trash. He's probably the authority on it. I'm not loving this, really. Tires come in sort of lap 2-ish now. Let's see if they drop off any from here. Got a rough idea of how to get around here now. Thoughts on new cars? Delara, quite fun. Absolute violent beast. This, the Huracan GT3, a reskinned Audi, essentially. Sounds and drives exactly like the Audi. Well, without actually trying the new Audi, but given the changes made to the GT3s across the board, and how this drives how I expected the Audi R8 to drive based off my previous information. Thoughts on the hairpin? Already my least favourite corner in iRacing. Back end stepping out. But it rotates much better on initial turn-in with that set ribs. So the car, it feels less like I need to attack the corner to try and get it through. Like it'll just go. It's fine. I don't have to worry about it. I can't help it, like the FFB just like tries to rip the wheel out of my hands. So, setup page again, sorry, we're going back over this again. So, the new thing with the GT3s, aerocalc and updated wing settings are what's new, so 2 through 10. Not expecting to go much higher than like a 7 or an 8 probably. He set the car and used to, oh yeah, setting up like how you would the Audi. So yeah, this car basically is the Audi. Is what it is. The two cars are very close in real life, so no surprises there. So we have blades and outer diameter, small, medium, large, similar to what you have in the Audi. The blades are slightly different, but not much else different. That paint is what you're getting for now until we get something official. Deal with it. Another thing that's new for the GT3s is the master cylinders, so similar to what we have in F3, LMP2, so on and so forth. That was introduced maybe in the last year or so. That's been added to GT3s, so you can set the cylinder front and rear, and you can set low and high friction pad, so you can tune it basically however you like. TC settings, pretty standard on GT3, nothing weird or wacky there. 11 CM is 10, 12 is off. 1 through 3 on your throttle shaping, depending on whether you want something that's more of an S shape or whether it's dead linear. I always prefer dead linear. Engine map settings, again, on iRacing, lift and coast is king compared to using a fuel map, so always leave that on 1. If there was anything to be different on that, I'm sure we would pick it up, but that's the advice for now. ABS, so the default, or the competitive sets for the high downforce sprint package have this set to 1. Not really sure why. You kind of want the ABS where possible in GT3s, I find, but maybe Challenger knows something more than the rest of us, but I've set that back probably to 10 or 11, literally doesn't matter either way, worth 12 being your offsetting. Display pages, as we covered before, look quite nice. As a developer, I'm obviously going to avoid the day option here, and focus on the darker themes. Endurance light package, I guess that's for if you're running an enduro race. And then LED strips as normal. Ride heights, so something that I noticed, it's interesting that you're on your set, you're quite low on the rear. I'm kind of going the opposite way, as we shunt in the background there. So this is set up very similar to an Audi, how you would set it up now. Even like selecting the spring, like the actual spring itself to determine the spring rate is the same as on the Audi. The same range, 0 to -24 on the dampers, both compression and rebound. The camber and caster, same as with the Audi. I would actually probably just set it up the same way as you would the Audi. Rear blades and rear bar, again similar to the Audi. Lastly, top gear has been changed, so the we now have a new top end for the Audi, and therefore this as well. So the FIA 6th gear would be shorter than the IMSA Daytona. The IMSA Daytona is for your Daytonas and Le Mans, for example. So yeah, that's the gist of the Huracan. It's basically a reskinned Audi. That's kind of my ending comment on that. Not much else really to say. If you like the Audi, you'll like this. If you didn't like the Audi, you'll probably not like this.